I'm gonna go back to reading this book, The Witch, today. He's gone through a lot of history, and he wants to examine the witch trials in Europe, and he's doing it from a meta-analytical standpoint, looking at all of history, every human civilization, every people group, and how they've handled witches. I almost said ghosts because I'm also reading a book about ghosts, and there is a ton of overlap between the two things. Because witches become spirit mediums real quick when there's an organized religion around and men are participating. Because when there's an organized religion around and the men are participating, it rapidly becomes tyrannical and theocratic. Very rapidly. The men don't even have to be at the top of the hierarchy. They literally don't even have to be the ones making the decisions. I read a book that I got when I was in college called The Alphabet versus the Goddess, and he tries to make the argument in that book that all holy war, all religious war begins with the Jews, begins with masculine tyranny and totalitarian leadership of religion, and he's just outright wrong. Holy war and religious war are all the way at the beginning of organized religion. In fact, ritualized warfare is what most of the large-scale warfare that we talk about in the deeply ancient world, when we're talking about like when Egypt is battling the Hittites, it was ritual warfare. There wasn't real warfare at the scale that you find in the Iron Age, because they just didn't have the killing weapons necessary to have the kind of casualties that you talk about when you talk about the Iron Age. You talk about iron weapons. Bronze weapons are great and all that. They shine and they're very beautiful, but they dull quickly and they bend easily compared to iron. And you didn't have the religious structures in place for the talismanic magic spells that would make people believe that their new iron armor was invulnerable to damage. So you didn't have chainmail yet, is what I'm saying. And because of that, you didn't have people foolhardy enough to run into full-scale combat. Not before the Spartans, which means not before organized Judaism. And so anyway, I am at the point now where he's in the early modern witch trials, and the thing that I keep finding stunning is that he keeps pointing out, but not actually making a big deal about, the fact that ceremonial magic, ritual magic, the kind of magic that's written down in books that we call the esoterica or the occult today, wasn't illegal. The men who practiced that magic were not put on trial. It wasn't illegal. And you can go to Dr. Justin Sledge in Esoterica, and he makes jokes about it all the time, about how there was a very real conspiracy of necromancers at the top of the Catholic hierarchy. So we talk about a conspiracy of witches that wasn't real, but there was a conspiracy of wizards that was very real. The witches just got blamed for helping.